I can't tell you what's happening. I will tell you this. I think you're going to see a lot of really bad things. And a lot of people think that, and they know they have problems because they were very dishonest. And again, I leave it all up to the Attorney General, and I leave it all up to the people that are working with the Attorney General, who I don't know. But I will say this, I think you'll see things that nobody would have believed. This was the worst hoax in the history of our country.
CBS News confirms the Justice Department has opened a criminal investigation to find out how its own probe of Russian election interference began in 2016. The FBI and intelligence agencies found Russia acted to help President Trump's campaign, but the president claims he was the investigators' original target. Paula Reed is at the White House. Paula, what does this mean for the president?
Anthony, CBS News has learned that the prosecutor overseeing this case will now have the power to subpoena witness testimony, documents, and even impanel a grand jury and file criminal charges. So this is a political win for President Trump, who for 2 years has railed against the legitimacy of the Russia investigation, insisting that it was started by deep state intelligence officials who wanted to prevent his election. But in a statement, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler and House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff said these reports, if true, raise profound new concerns that the Department of Justice under AG Barr has lost its independence and become a vehicle for President Trump's political revenge.
Well, it's a word that many Democrats have used. It's a word that many people have used over the years, but that's a word that has been used many times. And
so it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
All right. What's up, Que Paso?
Good morning, Mikey.
What's going on? All right, we got Scott here with us. He's on the road, but he's going to beam in here as long as possible. If you guys can hear him, let's get a 5 of 5. Go ahead and let's do a little comms check here. How's your morning, Scott, on the road?
Well, other than semi-drivers dropping chains all over the place, like playing Frogger out here this morning.
All right.
Tried to wave one of them down and point to his trailer, and he just looked at me like I was stupid, so I just passed him and took off.
All right. Yep, we got Scott good as we're going to get him for being on the road, folks. He does have a Bluetooth in, and we can hear him just fine. I'm going to turn him up just a hair and just keep talking like you were, buddy. You're good. So what is going on today in the world? We know impeachment has started, right? The actual... They laid out the rules yesterday, I think, while we were live, and we touched base on them. But They already came out and said there's no crimes there. It was all opinion. They used a lot of Trump's tweets in the paperwork, the official, which is no different than using somebody's CNN interview when they're not sworn in. It looks like we lost Scott there for a minute. There he is.
I'm here.
Yep.
I'm here.
You're gonna probably have little outages. No big. Everyone's saying they hear you 5 of 5, and you rock, Scott. We got.
No, don't worry. That's just people calling in. I have to hit the decline button. I knew that was going to happen.
Gotcha. I'm just looking at some members. Welcome members. We got a few mods in here. Randy Robbins, Face is with us. Good morning, mods. Good morning, Patriots. Good morning, members. Frank Bolin. Several Patriots. We got a couple hundred in here, Scott. So. Anyway, what did you catch up on last night after you possibly got home? I don't know if you saw anything going on, anything that caught your attention or worth talking about.
I kind of shut down because of the way my head was going. I did some late night service calls. Anyway, but I did hear on the way in this morning before you and I hooked up, I was listening to Adam Schiff on public radio. His newest comment or threat to the American people is, no matter what we have or have not found, we have to move forward with this impeachment, because if we don't impeach him now, he's just going to get more dangerous, and it's a national security issue. So he's basically telling the American people, go along with this idea to stop Trump from becoming more powerful and ousting all of us, because that's what this is all about, and we all know this.
So it might be you're taking that as kind of like before he maybe actually breaks the law, we need to get rid of him and not have him give him a chance to possibly do something. He's going to get more dangerous.
Yeah, and it just kind of goes back to the whole we have to beat him and have a backup plan, because if he gets elected, most of our cabal is going to get investigated for all these other nasty things they've been doing, cheating, lying, stealing, kids. You name it. We talked about it yesterday, and we've talked about it before. So now he's not right to the Americans, playing the scare card to the American public. Hey, go along with this, because he's going to get scarier and more dangerous if we don't impeach him. Well, that's not a reason to impeach.
Man, that nails the hammer on the head. I take it to be that the Democrats or the deep state have been brewing this stew for 8 or 9 months, throwing new ingredients in as they go. Because they were saying Nadler was even thinking about pulling out the old Mueller investigation out of the old dusting it off the shelf and adding it to the impeachment crimes, because they don't have anything. So just trying to stack up all the stuff that they've made up. None of it's resulted in any fruit, but yet they want to just a lot of it together. It's like a whole bunch of zeros still adds zero, man. It doesn't.
Right. I'm going right back to what I've kept saying, what everybody else is saying. I'm having a real hard time understanding how you can move forward with an impeachment if through all this investigation you haven't even found a crime. Oh, there I was sliding a little bit. Sorry. So, no crime equals move it to the Senate. I guess I don't understand.
Yeah. No. There is no understanding it. It's just a circus. It's just a circus.
It really sounds like my 6-year-old kid trying to lie to me, and I know he's lying to me. I know you didn't brush your teeth. Yes, I did. I know you didn't. But I guess that's how silly all of this is. It's very juvenile.
So, did they already kick off? From what you heard, where was Schiff at? Was he putting out a statement from like the Capitol there at a microphone or something? Was it his actual speech you listened at, or was it just a recap?
I listened to him live it was an interview. It was not, as far as I know, it was on the radio, but he was not addressing the country or on a pedestal. He was simply holding an interview with somebody from the public radio.
Okay.
I don't know that it's worth listening to, but you would probably, if you go back and you do listen to it, just kind of Google what he said this morning and blow your mind. We have to move forward with an impeachment to keep him from being more dangerous. I don't understand.
Yeah, that doesn't quite make.
And then, you know, the one thing that I have forgotten to bring up the last two times I was on the show is this whole Ukraine thing. Trump did arm them the first go around. And if you look back to what Obama actually did, he didn't do anything. If you remember, he told Putin, what was it, 2 or 3 times, this is the new line in the sand, stop.
Yeah.
And he continued to not care what Obama said. Well, then Obama helped the Ukrainians with blankets. And that's no
Yeah, that's
BS.
all he sent them. He armed them with blankets.
Yeah. and the first armistice, you know, Trump armed Ukraine. So it's not like Trump never did anything as far as giving them weapons or defense. This was just round 2. So I don't understand. I guess I just really don't understand why the Ukrainian deal is 90% of this process.
Yeah, no,
They're going to impeach him for arming one of our allies. I don't understand. But
yeah, no, it. Whoops, let me see here.
Go ahead. You're all right.
There you go. So I know yesterday when you were here, we saw that what was it? The Deutsche Bank guy hung himself for Epstein before the FBI can get to him and interview him.
Weird.
Now
Very
there's
weird.
a new connection here. New connection emerged between the Clintons and Jeffrey Epstein. And I think I read this late last night, but so a new report published on Tuesday alleges that the former Democratic President Bill Clinton and 2-time failed Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, the 2-time.
I love how they say failed.
I know, they add all that in. Look, the former Democratic President Bill Clinton and 2-time failed Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton visited the New Mexico ranch of convicted pedophile and accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein nearly every year since Clinton left office. So Bill and Hillary Clinton stayed at that notorious baby-making ranch. Because you know what he was doing up at that ranch? He was,
Well, I got a good idea.
So there you go. That's weird. That they were like, oh, he never went to the island. But it's like they never asked about the ranch. And now if you hit them with that, they're like, you never asked. That's the same thing you did, Bill, back in your impeachment. And it's like they asked you 3 different ways from Sunday, but you're saying there was a 4th way that they should have asked you, and they didn't ask you the 4th way. Therefore, you didn't lie.
The beauty of being a lawyer and a president.
Yes. They.
I still go back. To the amendment I'd like to see Congress put in. You cannot run for president of the United States if you're a lawyer, and you can't run for Congress or Senate if you're a lawyer.
Yeah. No.
Us common folk can't follow along and keep up with them if they're going to use their lawyerisms against us. We have no idea what they're even saying half the time.
Exactly. What about like ex-CIA and stuff as well? That you know, there should be a fine line with that crap. They leave those agencies. Go ahead.
I kind of lost my train of thought. I got one of my guys trying to call in. I know he's got some technical questions, but I'm going to make him sweat a little bit.
It's that
Best
time
way
of
to
year.
learn is being thrown to the fire, right?
Yes. You're busy.
Yeah. So now you got Jeffrey Epstein obviously hung himself. That's what we're told. That was him underneath that white sheet. That's what we were told. I wasn't there. I don't know. I didn't see his face under the sheet. I didn't perform the autopsy. But isn't it strange that now this other guy is found dead? I'm sure he killed himself as well. And I wanted to say this, and I don't know if I said it yesterday on the show, but you and I were talking when we were done. I think I now understand what's going to happen. You see, she can be president of the United States. And when I say she, I'm speaking of Hillary. And I'll probably end up getting blown off the road here after I say this because they're listening. But if you're vice president and the president dies, you ultimately become president. So you don't have to be elected. And I know that sounds like a nasty conspiracy case, but I just wanted to come out and say that now in case it does happen. Nobody's going to find that really ironic.
Yeah. No,
that's got to be Plan C. If I can't get elected, I'll be somebody's opponent or campaign vice, and I'll just find my way into that Oval Office the back way.
Here's some breaking news. A top Mueller source during the anti-Trump Russia probe, a pedophile and child porn trafficker whom Mueller refused to arrest, was just indicted for running an illegal campaign contribution scheme in 2016 on Hillary Clinton's behalf. So that just is coming out. George Natter.
He never makes it. He never makes it into court. He'll never testify.
You're probably, man.
I'm sure he signed some kind of a waiver.
Yeah, at one point, that tipping point's like, all right, we have everything that keeps coming out against them, the people keep vanishing like one by one by one by one by one. And at one point there.
Double tap to the back of the head, gun found 28 feet away, zipped up in a bag with a padlock on the zipper.
Suicide.
Yeah, it's obvious.
He was Houdini in his off time. He was practicing tricks.
David, what did we say yesterday? David Copperfield can make the Golden Gate disappear. Hillary can make anybody disappear. Oh, God, this last hour and a half to the airport's going to be the deadliest run of my life.
Are you getting on and flying?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm always nervous when I bring up HRC and I'm in the public.
Dude, HRC, planes, yeah.
This black four-door tinted sedan following me the last 10 minutes since my last comment. I have to laugh about it, otherwise I'd be nervous as hell and chain smoke.
We'll do a South Bend U-turn on their ass and
Got you on camera now.
Do a little South Bend U-ey and see if they
oh man.
Take 3 lefts and a right, brother. See if they follow.
Local businessman shoots himself 4 times, falls in the ditch, body disappears.
Gun never found. Ruled suicide. He was depressed.
It was aliens. Yeah. Hey, folks, I'm not depressed. I have a baby on the way. Mike and I got a good thing going on with the Patriot Hour. I'm going to sound like our old buddy William, Bill Cooper. If something happens to me, I was not intending on leaving this earth anytime soon.
That's funny. Yeah, no, Scott is not depressed, and stuff like that.
Life stuff like that. Life is good.
They come out with, first grade teacher reported he was slightly depressed, and
yeah, aren't we all? Well, we found cigarette butts in his truck, so we picked up smoking because he was on his way out. Just little things like that.
The smoking gun.
Pay very close attention. This face is smiling. I got tears behind my glasses. I was laughing so hard back there. No intentions on leaving anytime soon.
So where was I at on that? The hearings. Yeah, they're going to be kicking off here soon. I don't know if they already are.
These are the final hearings on the...
Well, it's the House Judiciary. Mm-hmm. That's where it should have started, actually. The actual normal procedures would typically...
So then, and I can't follow along with the comments. You can. So my understanding is when all the evidence is heard, then that is all given to the House, and then the House has X amount of time to review the information. Then they'll cast a vote, and then from there it goes to the Senate.
Yeah, this is like what is actually happening now should have been the very first procedure. This is how it normally starts. But all that extra stuff we went through was a little bread and circus for everybody.
So we're getting an American lynching for Christmas.
Yes, This is the night before Christmas. So I'm showing here right now. See, they're starting to sit down. Soon the House Judiciary Committee holds public impeachment hearing. So.
Oh God, this stinks to high heaven.
Oh,
it's almost like you remember. Now we were young, but you and I have gone over the story of David Koresh in Waco.
Yeah.
The facts aren't the same. But the way they're going up is the same. Anything comes up, hence there's a new American people away from the real truth, and that is we ain't got a damn thing. and as soon as you catch on to that, again, we just come up with this new accusation.
Yeah, no, we lost you there. You broke up, but you said something about Koresh, and then the next thing you popped in talking about that they don't have a damn thing. So what was the people probably want to know what your connection was.
My point was they're treating it. If you can just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me now, and I'll keep talking. But if when Waco happened, all this evidence and all this truth was coming back out about how it went down, and every time something was credible, the government and the FBI just deflected and started talking about something else about the story to kind of pull you away from the truth. That's kind of what's going on here. Every time Trump and or his people or administration and or the Republicans on the committee find that these accusations are not credible, they drop the ball and they go over to the neighbor's yard and pick up a new story or a new accusation and run with it because, oh my God, they just found out that was bullshit. Let's go find something else to keep this impeachment process going. So now what you just said, and I did hear this, now they want to bring the Mueller investigation back into the impeachment process because they've got nothing. But what they're forgetting is the Mueller investigation found nothing. So I just feel like we're
that's what I'm
watching a
saying.
dog chase its tail.
You can stack up 100 zeros and it still adds up to zero. These are all your own false accusations that you've slung and mudded. And just because they didn't stick, you don't get to add them all up and then use it as proof. Like, look, he's had accusations of Russia collusion. Did you guys find any evidence? No, but there was accusations. There was mud thrown. Right. Well, yeah, you guys threw all that mud. I mean, it doesn't work that way, you know. Not in a real world, not in our world, not in movies, not in made up fairy tale land, nowhere. So I don't know. It is just noise. I mean, this is all they got, Scott. I mean, I take it as nothing more than a bunch of kids screaming the whole way they're losing, and they think the louder they get, it'll work. They're hoping that being loud and having just the fact of having impeachment hearings and the whole talk confuse people. A lot of people are thinking, well, Trump's going to get thrown in jail, isn't he? He's getting impeached. He's done crimes. I mean, that's all it took is them to have these hearings, have the talk. And now it's in everyone's mind come the election time. Like, wasn't he impeached or something? Like, a lot of people don't even understand it. They don't understand the process.
Well, you just said that perfectly. If you have nothing, the next best thing to do is keep it going.
Sling mud.
Because the average Joe is going to continue to think, well, it's still in the news and they're still holding these processes, so he must be guilty of something. No! That couldn't be any more further from the truth.
It's like a big potluck that they're all throwing different ingredients in until it tastes good or it works, and then they use it.
Exactly. Or a real good rumor. We all remember being in high school. The best way to keep a rumor going is to continue to talk about it.
Yeah.
If you want to stop a rumor or stop the bully, stop worrying about it. Quit talking about it.
Yeah, and
I
think
they know that this is.
Yeah, I think they're really nervous with all this Horowitz stuff, even though Horowitz himself might not have it right. But I have a little bit of I'm hoping, from what I heard from Barr himself at the little Federalist dinner, that they're just nervous, and this has all been a precursor to that. Because when all the real crimes come out, the real investigations have led to, and there's like real crime, I mean, it's just like we saw with Peter Strzok. Even when there is real crime and real bias, they will sit there and tell you no. And they're like, well, your message says here, if he doesn't do this, you're going to kill the guy. That guy's dead, and you said you're going to bury the body here, and we found the body there. I know what that seems like, but it wasn't me.
Well, yeah. What about what's going on over here, though? What
Yeah, it's like we got to listen to this, clear cut of the Democrat being a blackface, but they're telling you, no, I tore up my card last week. Who's really racist is Trump. Look at him. And then they show you a clip, whatever
Right.
Trump said's not really racist. They show you a clip of him talking about the wall and we need security. We got Americans dying and we got to stop this. And then they come back, see, he's a racist man. And you're like, I didn't hear anything racist at all in that little clip you just showed me. But there's clear cases of their racism. Isn't that weird? That there's clear blackface with them, clear crime with them.
That's why it's our responsibility. If they're going to continue to put this stuff out in the news all the time and put it in our face, it's your and my responsibility and all the other Patriots' responsibility to continue to talk about, okay,
to expose it.
What about the real crimes? What about, let's expose, let's prosecute the real crimes. Well, there's no crimes. Well, there is no impeachment process worth doing either, but we at least have evidence to move forward. So it's our job to balance this. They're not going to do it on their own. Although I will say this about CBS, they're coming back to the middle. They just hired an ex-Fox reporter that has got all kinds of achievements and awards, and I just heard Sean Hannity say, we hate to see her go, but she's credible, and I can't remember her name, Aldridge or something, I can't remember her name, but you could look it up and find it. But CBS has made the point to say, oh man, we're losing viewers. They're coming back a little bit too, so I applaud them. Maybe they'll jump on the bandwagon of supporting this president and understand that you just can't keep bashing this guy and hope your ratings are going to go up. So again, it's our responsibility as well to counter everything they're doing.
Yeah.
With the truth.
Well, and again, it's sad because that Horowitz already came out with the report last summer, and they named James Comey for doing crimes. And they cited his crime, James Comey and I believe McCabe or Rosenstein or McCabe. And again, after the recommendation was to be fired, they got fired, but then that report came out and the same crimes that they were accused of is the same thing. Roger Stone, Manafort, Michael Flynn, General Michael Flynn went down for. So here you go. They attack Trump, get the three guys around him for obstruction, lying. But we saw it with Hillary, turning in broken up cell phones, all ignored. So there is not equal justice. We know that, right? Everyone's like, well, of course, this is what we're bitching about.
Have you seen? And I know I hate quoting Facebook, but it's in everybody's face, and I think it's very subliminal, and I think it does have an effect on elections. These memes that are going around, and there's like a list of 75 to 100 different things that Trump's been indicted about, right? Or brought up in bankruptcy court and blah, blah, blah. So if they're going to use indictments as a negative slur or bash on him, isn't it about time that the Republican Party start bringing up all these other clowns on just start indicting them? At least it's an equal playing field. But like you've said, you just can't say a man is a bad man or a woman's a bad woman because of accusations.
Yeah. No, I still think that this was all about exposing. I think we'll see here that the Trump's patience is virtue, and a lot of people don't have it. I hardly have had it in my life. I'm just learning, coming into my later age. Patience is virtue. I think Trump's had that. I think he's done everything by the book. He's given every arm of justice a chance. The history books will document as so. That the reason he had to go, the military intelligence was guiding him to put things on servers because of leaks. They were telling him that you're able to do this because of that. the heads of these agencies were corrupt, so therefore you needed to operate in a little different way. And it's, they're bitching about process at this point, at the very end of it. Like, he should have been getting a hold of the FBI to have them go investigate Ukraine and not have Giuliani. Well, it's like, well, this was a sting operation, and Giuliani worked with the State Department because they couldn't go through the normal channels because you guys were obstructing, blocking, not doing your job. And the history books will document that as well. And
the deck was stacked against him. We've talked about that from day one. He had to eliminate, like you always say, the end of moving these people. You can't call on the FBI to do an investigation on day one because the FBI was filled full of the cabal.
There you go. The right people.
Hey, Mike, I get into traffic here in a minute. I got some phone calls I got to make before I get to the airport.
Sign out, brother.
I just wanted to just chime in and just.
It looks like we're losing him. All right, well, there's Scott heading out to his location at the undisclosed location somewhere. But yeah, he's out of here. He's finally hitting traffic, breaking up. All right, that was great to have Scott join us this morning for a little bit. I will get into a few articles here. If you guys will stay with me. Let me get a few things set up. All right, how are all of you doing this morning? So the House Judiciary Committee holds impeachment hearings today soon. Thank you, Scott, for joining in this morning while you could on the road. And sometimes the signal's better than others, depending on where you're at. That's not up to him. He was on cell phone signal there, and sometimes it gets pretty crowded in the bigger cities to get yourself a signal. Fluid Port Art by Greg. What's up, buddy? We got Keegan Simmons in the room. Darren Carson, what's going on, brother? Yeah, let's take a look at the Q post. I've been meaning to get to those. I was going to get to them this morning, and then Scott got with me and said, hey, man, I'm available if you got some time. And I said, I do. It's going to be biblical. So we got the, now that the Russia collusion is a proven lie, when do the trials for treason begin? What video is it? Oh yeah, that's a great little.
I'm gonna pull the whole thing down. I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical. I'm gonna pull the whole thing down. I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.
It's going to be biblical.
In light of Mr. Shelton.
All right. So, and then we got a little bit of happy holidays here. A little bit of holiday meme. No Pelosi. Is that like LA just burning in the background? Or her little district there? The Paris Agreement on climate is another scam to rip off taxpayers and enrich the politicians. You got tons of articles here. Who audits the money and where the money actually goes? what percentage is typically categorized at cost, how to steal taxpayer money, the con, determine topics that have an emotional pull, connect on vocal types, create media blitz, scare, a basic scare campaign, talking points, get your talking points all wrapped up. Now you become an alarmist every time, every day. Scare the people. Give us your money. Your dollars will help fix this. Use pro-narrative minded authorities on the subject to provide foundation to support. Pro-narrative minded authorities, people like Bill Nye, the science lie. Deploy circular reporting and groupthink tactics. Echo chamber, echo to artificially raise public outcry. Use public outcry to justify billion-dollar taxpayer spending. Rinse and repeat. Who audits where the money goes? Percentage to original mandate. Salary of U.S. Senator. Salary of U.S. Congresswoman, men. Salary of U.S. President. Salary of Vice. Net worth pre-office. Net worth post office. How do elected officials become mega multimillionaires? Corruption. Logical thinking. So, it's pretty easy to understand. It really is, folks. It really is. So the Alphabet, Google, 23andMe, and YouTube. Why are the largest media companies in the world constantly attacking this so-called conspiracy? People awake equal greatest fear, information warfare. Be ready, Anons, public awakening is coming. Security cam pick in London, file name reference to Lisa Page in the MI6. Sergey Brin, co-founder of Google, president of Apple Inc., net worth $49.5 billion. I got that. Ann Wojcicki, co-founder of 23andMe, net worth $1 billion DNA. Sisters, Susan, CEO of YouTube. I think they all three just stepped down. Sergey Brin, what was it? Brin. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. Confirm they're married. Secretly married to the founder of legal tech startup since 2018. Google co-founder Sergey Brin has reportedly been married since 2018 to his girlfriend, the same year that Brin and 23andMe founder Interesting. So the 23andMe had tongue depressors under the name in the same configuration as hand on the watch. Interesting. Masters of projection, these treasonous bastards had enough. I agree. How's everyone doing this morning here? Let me look at a few things. So here on DC Dirty Laundry, Shift could be forcibly, I'm going to say he's going to be forced to resign before everything goes down to just to get him muddled a little bit. So we learned from the press today that Schiff had prior knowledge and involvement with the whistleblower complaint. This is Devin Nunes' tweet. We learned from the press today that Chairman Schiff had prior knowledge and involvement in the whistleblower complaint. He withheld this info from the American people and even the Intel Committee. In light of this news, it's hard to view impeachment as anything aside from a orchestrated farce. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff, a Democrat out of California, relied on the mainstream Marxist media to carry his water for him. He must have missed or dismissed the poll that revealed voters are madder at the media than they are at the President Trump by a wide margin. You can be sure the editors at the, in my honest opinion, increasingly discredited major media outlets didn't miss that the polls show 61% are disgusted with their biased coverage of all of this. Schiff foolishly trusted that whatever he represented to the media would be repeated without question, and while the media largely supported his lies, someone at the New York Times either didn't receive the memo, speculation or joke there, or decided that printing the truth had become more important to their long-term credibility. So out of Washington, the Democratic head of the House Intelligence Committee, Representative Adam B. Schiff out of California, learned about the outlines of the CIA officer's concerns that President Trump had abused his power days before the officer filed a whistleblower complaint. According to spokesmen and current and former American officials, when questioned about whether he had contact with the so-called whistleblower at any time prior to the complaint being filed, Schiff denied that he had. Why? So we learned from the press today that he had prior knowledge. Why lie about having contact with a whistleblower? And why did U.S. Representative Devin Nunes, ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee, conclude that in light of this news, it's hard to view impeachment as anything aside from an orchestrated farce? I'm really suspicious when I see in the month before we hear about the whistleblower Schiff saying things that I can show are remarkably similar to what the whistleblower lawyer put in the whistleblower's complaint, which is really a legal brief. Have you ever seen a whistleblower's complaint that has a page with longer footnotes than a text? No. So it's pretty orchestrated. I do not see Schiff, how he gets out of this one standing. I see a resignation shortly in his future. Time will tell. And I see arrest happening for the man as well. Most likely. How do I join again? You guys want to go down, go to the home page here and hit the join, be a member. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to do a shout out here for some of the members. We do. All right. We're going to go in order from newest to, we'll start with the oldest members, okay? 18 days ago. Number 1, Parts Driver. This is our member list. Parts Driver. Fifth Miracle. Wisdom 101. Sue New. Terry Grieve. Wendy McMillan. Tim Combs. Drone RX7. Wendy Rosebud. Chris Gordon. Bob K. Meyer. Jim Stowicki. Edith Chupp. Janet Walker. Adam Lewis. Sherry Owens, Daniel Bird, Jennifer Baez, Melody Ann, Derek Had Enough, Chris Bean, Nancy Chang, Blaine Tresidor, Silver Wolf, Donna Kaler, Norman Rambo, Paul Bloomst, EO2 Dave, Paulette Downing, Dave Shearer, Peg Capadonna, Jeannie Miller, Mel 4 Stars, Del Brasier, Dana M. Ward, Fawnlee Greenlee, Gail Harris, Gary Warner, Frank Brolin, Meme So Fun. Thank you guys so much. I believe that's 41 members. 41. How awesome. So awesome. Okay. Another little breaking story here I was talking about with when Scott was on. Convicted pedophile used in Mueller investigation indicted for funneling millions in illegal contributions to Hillary. So George Natter, a convicted pedophile that special counsel Robert Mueller used in his Russia investigation, was indicted on Tuesday for allegedly concealing millions of dollars in illegal campaign contributions to then Democratic presidential two-time loser Hillary Clinton. The Justice Department refers only to an unidentified 2016 presidential campaign candidate, but campaign finance records make clear that the candidate was Clinton. A top Mueller source during the anti-Trump probe, a pedophile and child porn trafficker who Mueller refused to arrest, was just indicted for running an illegal campaign contribution scheme in 2016 on Hillary Clinton's behalf. Unbelievable, isn't it? That these that Mueller, didn't get any of these people, didn't it's like we said, it came across his radar, but it didn't matter to this guy. But the crimes of lying or obstructing, that very little minimum charge that they always get people on, was worth it. But this guy here, this pedophile, left alone, unnamed, didn't want to hurt Clinton, didn't want to tie that to her. Unbelievable, the amount of covering up. It never ceases to amaze me, even though we're numb to it. She hasn't gone down. It's been going on forever. You can just look every time. And they've walked away scathe-free, Unbelievable. All right, folks, I'm gonna shut this one down because I want to get a video out that I've been working on. Again, thanks for joining in this morning. Thanks for, I just, again, wasn't planning on going live. I don't know if you caught last night's live show. It was a little later. Had American Joe on. It was a great little show we popped off there. So, give me a second here. Got stuff up all over. So it was a great little show this morning here as well with Scott. American Joe last night, Scott in studio yesterday, all kinds of live shows. Look for maybe a live show later on this evening. I don't plan on doing the impeachment hearings just because of the fact I need to get some other things done, and that's heavy on the machine. And if I try to even edit in the background, it's just extra heavy. So I'm just going to give the machine a break on that today. If you can find the hearings, if you're that into them, it's just circus. Makes your head spin. It's almost useless, eddy material to be swimming around in. But if you got nothing going on, and there's no harm, no foul in listening in and listening to the lies that's going on. But we're going to wait. I'm going to wait, see how far it goes. I think it'll be shut down. I do not expect this to, they're going to carry it on as long as they can. That's the whole point. They would love for this to go right into the next elections. But I don't think that's going to be the case. All right, folks, we'll see you back here real soon. Again, look for the next video coming out here real soon on the Patriot Hour. It'll be dropping here in the next hour. So we'll see you back here real soon, and have a great morning into your afternoon, and God bless and Godspeed all of you. Thank you, mods, for being here. Good morning. Thank you, Patriots, and thank you all members and new members joining. Again, take a look down in the description box for all the links that you'll need, and we'll see you back here on the next Patriot Hour.